All right, we'll call to order the meeting of the Old Bridge Township Planning Board for July 7th, 2020. Can you stand and salute the flag, please? I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United States
of America,
and to the republic
which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Dawn?
Adequate notice of this meeting of the Old Bridge Township Planning Board has been provided in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act at least 48 hours prior to the commencement of the meeting by permanently posting in the municipal complex an announcement giving the time, date, location, and agenda of this meeting, mailing such announcement to the Home News and Tribune, and filing a copy of such announcement with the municipal clerk. Mr. De Palma?
Here.
Mr. Lauer?
Here.
Mr. Mamakis?
Here.
Mr. Marucci?
Here.
Mr. Schmitz? Dina, can you unmute him? Thank you.
Okay, I'm here.
Mr. Pink?
Needs to be unmuted.
He needs to be unmuted too. Mr. Petty?
Here.
Chairman Cannon?
Here.
Mr. Sardillo?
Here.
Ms. Sawant?
Here.
Ms. Shapiro?
Here.
Mr. Lavallo?
Here.
Okay, we have the minutes of the June 9th, 2020 meeting. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll move it.
Okay, moved by Mr. Barucci. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Mr. Schmidt.
Mr.
Roll call,
DePalma? Mr. DePalma?
Yes.
Mr. Lauer?
Yes.
Mr. Mamakis?
Yes.
Mr. Marucci?
Yes.
Mr. Pink?
Yes.
Mr. Schmitz?
Yes.
Mr. Petty?
Yes.
Chairman Cannon?
Yes. Okay, we have a resolution 54-17P, K Hovnavian Old Bridge for, they owe us money, $1,250 escrow. So we have a resolution. Can I have a motion for the resolution?
I'll move it.
Okay, moved by Mr. Lauer.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Marucci. Roll call, please.
DePalma?
Yes.
Mr. Lauer?
Yes.
Mr. Mamakis?
Yes.
Mr. Marucci?
Yes.
Mr. Schmitz?
Yes.
Mr. Pink?
Yes.
Mr. Petty?
Yes.
Chairman Cannon?
Yes. Okay, well, we only have one application this evening. We have a continuance, application 10-2020P RD Management Corp. F Block 16004 Lot 53, Major Site Plan Preliminary and Final. They're requesting to be continued to August 4th, 2020 with notices. Our attorney, do we have to vote on that or?
It can be an all in favor vote. It doesn't have to be a roll call vote.
Okay, can we just have a roll call vote then on that to grant the continuance?
We just need a motion and a second.
Oh, okay. Do we
I'll
have a
move it.
motion? Who moved it?
I'll move it, Mr. Marucci.
Okay, second,
I'll second it.
Mr. Schmitz. Okay, roll call.
Mr. DePalma?
Yes.
Mr. Lauer?
Yes.
Mr. Mamakis?
Yes.
Mr. Marucci?
Yes.
Mr. Schmitz?
Yes.
Mr. Pink?
Yes.
Mr. Petty?
Yes.
Chairman Cannon?
Yes. Okay, and our one application this evening is application 2020-0013P, Bamra Home Improvement, West Avenue Minor Subdivision. So this is an application we will hear tonight, and We will have an opportunity if anyone from the public wants to ask any questions or has any comments. And we will put up the information for you to contact the board through the Zoom. So we will start with application, Mr. Clauser.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board. Peter Clauser with the firm Heilbron Pape on behalf of the applicant. This is an application for a minor subdivision on West Avenue. It's an application which was heard earlier this evening in front of your minor subdivision committee. It's a fully conforming minor subdivision. We had a previous application in front of the board which we modified and added property to eliminate all variance relief. So I think, I don't know what the procedure necessarily is, but we presented this application to the minor subdivision committee. And I would ask if maybe a representative of the minor subdivision committee or Nicole could address the status of the application.
Madam Chairman,
Yes.
the minor subcommittee met this evening with the attorney, the engineer, the applicant, the township engineer, and the township planner. And based on the information that we reviewed and the memo that we received, the email, we have no problem with the board, no objection to the board acting on this application.
Okay, thank you. Is there?
The application is fully conforming and the proposal is typical of the lot. Particular area.
I think Ernie froze up.
Yeah,
Well, not Ernie, but Ernie's computer.
Ernest's computer, right, right. Okay, so was it the two of you that were on the minor subbers or someone else there also that, Mr. Lauer, anybody else?
No, it was just Ernie and myself.
Okay. All right, does the board have any questions of either Mr. Lauer or Mr. Schmidt regarding the application? Nope. Okay, so now, Vina, do I open it to the public? Where's Vina?
Yes.
Okay, if the public has any comment or any questions regarding this application, you're invited to call in.
There are 0 attendees. We'll just wait for a minute.
Okay.
No callers yet.
Okay, should we wait a few more minutes or?
Yes, please.
Okay.
We may proceed.
Madam Chair, may I just address just one of the issues that came out of our subcommittee meeting with the board before you take any action? I think
Sure.
it's mostly probably for myself and Mr. Sardillo as we create a resolution. There were, may I?
Yes, of course.
Okay, I think there were 3 comments in Ms. Shapiro's report with regard to providing some soil tests, some soil information, which we asked if they could be deferred to the time of plot plan. And I think Ms. Shapiro had no issue with that. That was a pretty typical way that we would proceed. The other is that The applicant is required to obtain a letter of interpretation from the DEP. The DEP is operating on a skeleton crew is generous right now. And so normally letters of interpretation can take up to 6 months. I'm not sure how long they'll take under these circumstances. So I asked that the subdivision be permitted to be perfected without the LOI, but that no construction could take place on the site until the LOI is secured, and that would be provided. And that information would be provided on the plans at the time of plot plan as well. And I believe I can represent that Ms. Shapiro had no issue with that either. So I just want to point out that I'll be asking Mr. Sardillo and the board in the resolution to just have those two conditions deferred until the time of plot plan.
Okay,
And that's it.
all right, thank you. And Mr. Sardillo, do you want to just summarize the resolution or what will be contained in the resolution?
Yes, Madam Chairman, actually, that's Mr. Clauser had took my thunder. That's what I was going to raise, was that, in connection with our review in the subcommittee meeting, that the application is fully compliant, so there's no variances being requested. The resolution will be granting the subdivision approval to create the 2 compliant lots for residential purposes. As Mr. Clauser had mentioned, the applicant is compliant with all of the items identified in the review letter by the township planner and township engineer. There was just the 3 items that Mr. Clausen mentioned, numbers 12, 15, and 16 identified in the report, dealing with certain testings for groundwater and so forth that would be agreed to be done after perfecting the subdivision and to be submitted during plot plan review, as well as obtaining the LOI from the NJDEP at the same time as well. So those would be the items identified in there, other than the specific facts of the subdivision, which is the property itself and the compliance subdivision proposed.
Okay, thank you. Okay, anybody from the board have any questions or comments? Okay, do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Second,
Moved by Mr. Schmidt, second, who?
Marty Pink.
Mr. Pink, okay. Roll call, please.
Mr. De Palma,
Yes.
Mr. Lauer,
Yes.
Mr. Mamakis,
No.
Mr. Marucci,
No.
Mr. Schmitz,
Yes.
Mr. Pink,
Yes.
Mr. Petty,
No.
Chairman Cannon.
Yes. Okay, I think it passed, right?
5 yes, 3 no.
Okay, anybody else have any other business? Because that concludes our agenda.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we'll see you next month. Hopefully we'll be in person and
Hopefully.
off of Zoom. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make one.
I'll second it.
Okay, seconded by Mr. Pink. Okay, everybody in agreement? Yes?
Yes, yes.
Okay, see you next month. Have a good rest of the summer.
Bye.
Everybody, thanks.
Everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.